misfits and dope addicts are here.
Reasons why wearing a mask is fun.
Nick?
I'm throwing on the bed. Keep it going.
Okay.
Little jumpy with the buttons this morning.
It's okay.
Watch it, Nick. Watch it.
Because
What's going on over there?
Because on this day, Rolling Stone has unveiled an updated version of its list of the 500 greatest albums of all time. They last did an update of the list in 2012. The new tally was compiled by considering lists of top 50 albums chosen by more than 300 artists, producers, critics, and music industry figures, and includes 154 albums that were not on the 2012 edition of the list.
Number one.
Nick.
There it is. Yeah.
No, Nick, knock it off. Knock it off. I'll come down there. Don't think I won't.
It's true.
Yeah,
I know. I believe you.
Don't think I won't come. No, I
He
won't.
totally won't come down there.
But at number one on that list, the Rolling Stone, Marvin Gaye's classic 1971 concept album, and you heard the titular track from that record, "What's Going On." The concept album includes the classic title track, which we just heard. It includes "Mercy, Mercy Me," "The Ecology," "Inner City Blues," "Make Me Wanna Holler," all songs that reflected on the Vietnam War, the environment, and racial injustice. And it is if you listen to it from beginning to end, it's a brilliant record. Mm-hmm. And that song is great. "What's Going On?" Marvin Gaye, 1971.
Seemed also very fitting today with what's going on.
All right, let's not start that. Let's Let's have a
negative.
peaceful transfer of power here, shall
So
we?
negative.
I want to have a
From us to the wingding, are we going to have a peaceful transfer of power
Yes.
from us to the wingding
Yes,
later?
exactly. Peaceful transfer.
I say we
It's-
fight it.
This
I
no,
say we-
no. This is This is not how things work in Radio from Hell Country.
Listen, if you throw out the jingles, if you throw if you throw out the music beds, we'll have we won't have a peaceful transfer. We'll just have a continuation.
Continuation. Yeah.
Continuation of the Radio from Hell show all day.
Hi. Good morning.
Hi.
It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood.
It gets harder, doesn't it?
Yep.
Really, not to be negative and downer, but
So negative.
I actually feel better after the show every day. Talking with you guys makes me feel better, helps me get a handle on things. And then as the news goes on through the rest of the day, I go down and down.
Yeah, well.
down and down and down.
You should try not to pay that much attention. Just stop at certain point.
I can't.
It's
It's just
I'm
the
addicted.
future of democracy.
Yeah.
Don't.
I wish you. I just wish you hadn't brought that up yet in the show. Can you wait just a little bit? I had a talk with Dick Clark, our former intern and good friend of the program, yesterday.
How's Dick doing?
He's preparing for the end.
Yeah, well,
So,
we should have prepared.
Yep.
He's
Actually, I'm kind of glad we have Nick here because we have a young person. No, I'm being serious. How are you feeling about things, Nick? Maybe we're just old and
You shouldn't have asked.
No, I really want to know how.
No, you
how
don't.
Yes, I do.
You really want to know how I
Yes.
feel?
Yeah,
about
go
this?
ahead, Nick.
I'm just coasting until it all erupts, baby. So,
See?
yeah.
I mean, do you have hope for the future, kind of thing? I guess is what I'm asking.
It's the same thing that you were just talking about, Gina. Like, I have friends, and I see very motivated people who demand change and want what's best for the future, but it's hard to listen to the news every day and have other information thrown at you, and it's tough. What can I say?
You didn't say anything, Nick. What did that mean?
Well, my view changes depending on who I talk to on a constant basis, right? Whenever I talk to empowering individuals who are my age, who demand change from the society that they live in, I think, hey, we can all band together and make things better. But then I see all the crap on the news, and it yeah, it kind of diminishes that hope.
Could I
of
just
it.
suggest that instead of doing any of that, you have a better conversation with your hairbrush in the morning? Could you do that? Could you stand in front of the mirror and just have a conversation with your image and a comb?
My poppy died in a coal mine. All right,
Comb.
he was buried underneath a pile of unbreakable
Working in the
combs.
coal mine, going down there. Yeah. So I have that. I do have there is an eternal nugget of optimism in me somewhere, that always says it's going to be okay. Mm-hmm. Ultimately, it's going to be okay. But remember, it's always darkest before the dawn and the wingding.
And the wingding.
It's always darkest before the wingding. So expect that. Anyway, you're going to be pleased with one of the boner candidates today, Carrie.
Oh.
I believe he's in the first round. I'm going to give you the title right now.
Well,
Boner's coming up, of course, in the show. For those of you who are new to the program and don't even know what that is, these are candidates of people we nominate, bad, stupid, funny human behavior. We nominate them for these Boner Awards. And one of the candidates today in the first round, Kerry Jackson's longtime nemesis, Under the Microscope.
Well,
That's the
I
title
know
of the
who.
candidate.
I know who.
You want to give it away now, or do you?
no,
he's
let
been-
it be a tease. Let it
Okay.
be a tease.
He's being crucially examined by the website Jezebel. Mm-hmm. Kerry Jackson's longtime nemesis.
I did not read the article, but I read the headline yesterday.
Yeah, well, it's a great article too.
Oh, good. This guy needs to be taken down.
Oh, yeah, he does. And my wife showed me the article, and she said, Kerry has always been right.
This is not a good person.
Yeah. So that'll cheer you up, won't it?
Yeah, yes, it will.
All right. I guess we had to get the show probably going, huh?
And no, it's not. It's not Conway Twitty.
No.
because Conway's long dead.
Yeah. And Conway Twitty, that's just kind of a joke nemesis, really.
This is the real nemesis?
You don't really have but this guy.
Well, zombie Twitty now. On the other hand.
Oh. I didn't know there was a zombie.
Oh yeah.
Look
he
out for
rose.
Zombie Twitty.
He rose, man. He rose from the grave, and he's out there.
I had no idea.
Yep. All right.
So we'll officially begin the program here in just a second. If you want to check in with us, how are you feeling? You have a little bit of hope for the future, a nugget of hope for the future, or do things just seem to be getting worse and worse to you? Let us know. 877-602-9696. That's the Radio from Hell check-in number. You can talk to us about anything you want. You can check in and say hi or whatever you need to do, or maybe you could just check in and say, get on with the wingding, will you? Skip all of this stuff and let's do the wingding. 877-602-9696, the Radio from Hell show. We'd love to hear from you.
All right. We'll take a break. We will be back with your check-ins and some news and things. No, we got geek news coming up. We got Beat Gina at 7 o'clock. And I'll just tell you right now, it's Shaun of the Dead trivia.
I love
Get
that
you
movie.
in the mood for the season.
And I think that's the reason why, is that we're headed towards the season.
The holidays. It's the holidays.
Katie didn't even ask me. She just said, here's your questions.
The high holidays, yeah.
And I do have a spot of traffic already, Nick,
Oh, really?
if I may.
Oh, okay.
There's a power outage in West Valley, has some traffic lights not working. Delays on northbound Bangor Highway between 47th and 41st South. You're going to want to treat that as a four-way stop. Fender bender on Wall Avenue and North Street in Ogden. Use caution through that area. And a fatal crash has closed all eastbound and westbound lanes on State Street and northbound lanes on North Temple. Avoid that area. Find an alternate route through there.
Wait, do that one again. Where is that?
State Street and North Temple.
Between State Street and North Temple.
So eastbound and westbound lanes on State Street and northbound lanes on North Temple.
There are no east and west on State Street. East and westbound lanes on State Street. State Street runs north and south.
I'm just reading what is.
Are you
here.
sure this is in Salt Lake City? North Temple.
I will. Okay, let me look into it. I'm
Yeah.
just reading what UDOT gave me. Perhaps they are mistaken. give me in our next traffic. I will.
All right.
That
dive
sounds
into
weird. I don't know.
All right. We'll take a break. We will be back. First, a message from the state of Utah about your rent.
Rent relief, yeah. If your rent is overdue, understandable. Because of the pandemic. Maybe you were laid off because of the pandemic, or you're struggling to keep your lights on. Well, you shouldn't have to worry about your late rent bills because of the pandemic. And the federal unemployment benefits have expired, and that makes it tough. Overdue rent and housing bills are rising, your utility bills. But the state of Utah has a chunk of money, and they need to use it up by December 30th to help people pay their rent and their housing, deposits and utility bills. So the Utah Housing Assistance Program helping renters impacted by COVID-19. There are some restrictions, but it can help you with up to $2,000 a month of expenses. All you have to do is go to rentrelief.utah.gov. That's rentrelief.utah.gov and find out if you qualify. So I saw this story too this morning, and did somebody break wind on the news?
It's what is that sound is what we're playing.
That's
a game.
So see if it sounds like that to you. This is during an interview with Democratic Representative. How do you say his name?
Swalwell.
Swalwell. He's on being interviewed by Chris Matthews on MSNBC, and you've got the audio.
I've got the audio. So we'll start off with Chris, and then he'll talk, and then you'll hear the fart during Eric Swalwell's response.
Who were on the phone listening to the president talk about this swap of dirt for U.S. military aid.
Chris, so far, the evidence is uncontradicted that the president used taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help him cheat an election. And the complaint that I've heard...
Okay, one more time.
There we go.
Evidence is uncontradicted that the president used taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help him cheat an election. And the complaint that I've heard...
Who were on the...
Now, so the internet, the Twitter, and all of that went crazy.
Yeah.
So who farted on the... Now, they say...
Chris Matthews tweeted out saying that it was a coffee mug scooting across a table.
Which it probably is.
It could be, but it also sounds to me like a wooden stool leg scraping across the floor.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more likely one of those things than a fart.
I thought it was somebody just farting around. Somebody just put that in there. That's what it seemed like to me.
Added it to it?
Yeah.
No.
Well, no, they said that it happened during the broadcast because if you look at Swalwell's face, he kind of grimaces a little.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
What was that?
Well, then it was him. It was Swalwell.
And
that was a Democratic fart.
He said, "No, it wasn't me. I don't know where it came from, but it was funny at the time, and that's why I smiled."
Well, let's see. They say the smeller's the feller.
Well, what does it mean, the listener? The listener's the what?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to...
The hearer's the...
Is the bearer?
I don't know.
I thought he who smelt it dealt it.
Well, it doesn't indicate that he smelled it. It indicates that he heard it.
Yeah, so we don't know if he dealt it. Fox smells his own hole first. That's what they say.
Taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help him cheat an election. And
now he pauses a little bit there.
Yeah, just kind of because
Well,
he's sneaking it. He thought he could sneak it out.
He kind of goes, "Oh, what was that?" Huh?
Although wouldn't he'd sort of have to have a microphone near his.
We don't know if it was
ventilator.
Whether it's his or Chris's because they leave Chris's
side?
mic on as well.
Oh.
So
Well,
what Chris is claiming is that it was his coffee mug going across the top of the table.
If then it's Matthews, And you can look at him. He's a farter.
He's a farter.
Yeah. He gets too excited about stuff, and
The president used taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help him cheat an election. And
Yeah, that
Gee,
pause. That
And
pause
look,
is
that tells me he knows it's coming.
the pause is unfortunate.
That tells me he knows something's happening.
Boy, you mean like he leaned up?
So
Like he tried to one-cheek
a
sneak?
one-cheek sneak while he's standing up.
Because, you can't fart in those hearing rooms. They're so
Yeah.
condensed and
Well, yeah,
all those people.
people would go, God, who did that?
Well, actually, that's the better place to go because there's so many possible...
Wasn't me.
Wasn't me. Like, whoa.
Wasn't me. Where was I yesterday? I was in a car with some people, and I won't say who, but I kept thinking, somebody is stinking this car up. And you don't want to say anything because...
You'll embarrass somebody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
to help him cheat an election.
Yeah, that was Chris Matthews.
Think it was Matthews?
Yeah.
Ask the Ukrainians to help him cheat an election.
Yeah, that's an old man fart. That's an old man fart. It's kind
How
of
can you
raggedy.
tell?
It's kind of raggedy.
It's not.
Yeah, it's not
strong,
full
it's
throated.
not-
It's kind of raggedy and almost wet sounding.
Oh,
And here are the rhymes that we were looking for. He who denied it supplied it.
Oh.
Yeah.
The blamer is the claimer.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, people who
All right.
listen to the show. You're smarter than
Thank
we
you
are.
very much.
Very good.
Radio from Hell on X96.
All right. Let's see. 6:22 right now.
We do have some check-ins standing by
Yes.
at 877-602-9696. Might be a line available, though, if you want to try it. Shall we officially begin the show?
Yes, we shall.
You had you cleared up that traffic situation, by the way, for me and maybe others, but it was off the air. The traffic is blocked north and southbound lanes of North Temple.
Yeah, at State
Street.
Street.
Okay, because there's an
So
accident
not,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, so let's go.
Now that you had me go over there, I have to come back over here, and now I can do this. The Blocks is downtown Salt Lake. Join us for downtown SLC's open streets from 6 to 10 p.m. each Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, now until October 10th. For more information, go to theblockslc.com.
I always think I've changed the opening of the show a little bit. It seems like we should have a drum roll or something, but yeah, I didn't mean to spring anything on you, Carrie. Just think about it for tomorrow or something like that. And now, originating live in Salt Lake City, Utah, from the X96 studios high atop the second story of the 12-story Broadway Media Broadcast Tower, coming to you in living color and negativity. It's the Radio from Hell show, starring the Lords of Morning Radio, Kerry Jackson. I'm Bill Allred. That right there is Gina Barberi. You can see us live from our respective homes, x96.com/live. And you can also see live in the studio, Nick's your buddy, Nick's your pal, producing the show today, filling in for our wonderful producer, Katie, for short, who's on a bit of a vacation. Also helping out, I believe we have Hawk and Miriam in the producer's booth. Yeah.
That sounds very
It is. The moon is a waxing gibbous moon, 54.8% of full. The moon will rise today at 3:38 p.m., today being the 24th day of September in the year of our Lord Jesus Christ, 2020, and it's National Cherries Jubilee Day.
Ooh.
Cherries Jubilee, easy to make. All you need is a can of cherry pie filling, some cognac and vanilla ice cream, and you are good to go, baby.
Sounds wonderful, all of that.
Cherries Jubilee, enjoy it to the max.
Separately or together, I would enjoy all of those things.
Exactly. All right. Now to your check-ins at 877-602-9696. Who dare?
Let's go to Tommy first.
Tommy, good morning.
It's Tommy Milagro, it must be.
Good morning, lords and lady. How are we all doing?
Well, thank you, Tommy, and you.
Well, I've been a bit low of late until the other day. I called up my sister, and then I felt reassured because I talked to my super niece. And Carrie knows my super niece's name, but for everybody else, my super niece is Cara Zor-El.
Cara Zor-El.
She sounds like a super child of some sort.
Right, and then the real name of Supergirl.
That's Supergirl, yeah.
I see.
Yeah. And I was asking her, how is she doing? And Cara was just saying, well, Uncle Tommy, I'm okay, but I want to help everybody, but I don't have all my powers yet like I should have on TV.
How old is Cara Zor-El?
Damn cute.
How old is Cara Zor-El?
She is, oh, geez. She's
Some
gotta
uncle
be
you
8,
are.
9 years old.
They
8 or
don't
9
have all
years
my
old.
powers yet.
That's sweet.
Yeah, but this is what I told her because I knew she needed that hope. I said, look, Cara, it's all good. First of all, you need to be out in the rays of the yellow sun to get your powers, you silly Kryptonian.
It's true.
And more importantly, don't worry about this. You just got to grow up big and strong, protect your parents, especially your dad, because, he's in radio. And for the record, he is radio scum, but he is my radio scum. I didn't say that to Cara. And then I said, in about 15 to 20 years, when you're big and strong, Barry Allen's going to zip back using the Speed Force to bring you back to this timeline and save us all.
Perfect.
He's like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Perfect.
Sure, I'm glad
We'll
it
look
made
forward
sense.
to that.
Don't let her listen to Geek News then, because I've got bad news regarding Supergirl coming up.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh,
Yeah.
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 Wait, is this like a different timeline, or is this part of Flashpoint?
Nope.
Thanks for checking in, Tommy.
Thanks, Tommy.
All right. Thank you, Tommy. Let's go to Jenna.
Hi, Jenna.
Hey there.
What's up?
Well, I just wanted to talk a little bit about, I recently moved here from California, and the difference in the attitude towards the pandemic here and there is like night and day.
Mm-hmm.
Over there, like gyms aren't open, a lot of restaurants are still takeout only.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wears their masks.
Mhm.
They don't need to be like forced to. They just do it out of, I guess, sort of empathy
Civic
for one another.
responsibility?
Yeah. What's that word? Altruism?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. A desire to protect your fellow citizens from harm?
Yeah, definitely. It reminds me of a Simpsons quote. The context isn't super important. All you need to know is Ned Flanders saying, let's see, like, science is like the blabbermouth that ruins the movie before it's over. Sometimes it tells us things we don't want to know, important things, and I definitely get that sense more out here.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to Utah anyway. We're mask wearers here, if that makes you feel any better on the Radio from Hell show. We're very pro-mask.
Excellent.
How did you find our show, Jenna?
So I'm actually from Salt Lake. I had just been living out in the Bay Area for a few years, and I actually listened to it more out there than I did. I guess I just, had a more regular routine going, and now I still listen out here.
Well, I have a friend who lives in San Francisco, and he says that there is no good morning radio out there. So
definitely, definitely not.
All right, Jenna, thanks for checking in.
All right, thanks, Jenna. All right, we'll talk to you later. Traffic, Gina, please.
So that earlier power outage in West Valley, now Rocky Mountain Power says they have restored power to that area, but that doesn't mean it's not still affecting traffic or traffic lights. There were delays northbound Bangor Highway between 47th and 41st South. If you come upon some of those, just treat them as a four-way stop. Let me see if I can say this better because it was confusing to Bill earlier. So there was a fatality, a crash, that closed North Temple at State Street. That's the cross street. And both eastbound and westbound lanes on North Temple were closed. So you're going to want to avoid that area and find an alternate route. That's traffic.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, we will take a break. We will be back. Big boy news and geek news on the way. Stand by for all of that. New Dwello Homes.
Grants for down payment assistance to buy a home are back. And that's great news for a lot of people because interest rates are really low right now, and there are people wanting to get into homes. And so this grant, down payment assistance, you can get up to $15,312 or 3.5% of your purchase price to buy the home. All you have to do is text the word money, MONEY, to 62687. That's money to 62687. Now, you don't need to be a first-time home buyer to do this. Completely forgiven grants within 6 to 36 months. You do need to have a credit score of 620 or higher to qualify for the program and be able to demonstrate a 2-year history of school or work, something solid like that. So just text the word money to 62687, and New Dwello will text you all the requirements for this down payment assistance program.
I don't like breathing through my mouth. I prefer my nose. I think that's what it was designed for. Your mouth was designed for other things, and the nose is for breathing.
But sometimes you have to breathe through your mouth.
I can't.
You know that.
You cannot. Well, what we hear on the radio would give lie to that, but because we hear a lot of on the radio. But
so they said we have a snorkeling class. We don't need the snorkel. No, I want the snorkeling class. I want to know.
Sure.
So we took the kids to the snorkeling class, and they stop at Molokini, and I am terrified. I really am, because I'm not only scared of breathing through my mouth with my face underwater, but I'm scared of sharks. I am. Okay, Jaws ruined me.
Sure.
And it's just a boat out in the middle of the water, and you're getting off the boat, and
it's deep.
And it's deep.
You can't see the bottom.
And they said, "Do you want a noodle?" Yeah, I want a noodle. Give me the noodle.
To just hang on to.
My kids and my husband, no noodle.
No.
They just jumped in the water. I took 2 noodles. When I looked around and made sure that everybody that wanted a noodle had a noodle.
You weren't the only one.
Right.
There was an extra noodle.
Yeah.
Those noodles had been cooked earlier, though.
Yes.
And so we're out in the water, and the guy at the snorkel class said, "Don't put the mouthpiece in until you're ready. You can just put the goggles on and get used to the water and then put it in." So I'm out there just with the goggles on, hanging on to the noodle, and I'm thinking, I don't need to do any more than this. Nobody needs to know if I'm actually snorkeling or not. My kids are snorkeling, my husband's snorkeling. But then they have a underwater cameraman come up. He comes over to your group. He's like, "Get your group together and go under, and I'll take a picture under the water." So now I'm panicking. I'm like, I can't hide from my family anymore that I'm not putting my face in the water.
because camera guy wants underwater picture.
And of course, you have to do that.
Well,
you couldn't just say to your family, "I really can't do this."
No. And I didn't want Joe to know I wasn't snorkeling, because he's off snorkeling. He's not looking at me. I'm like, okay, I can totally do this.
All right.
Put the mouthpiece in, stick my face in, underwater camera guy's there. And I'm like, is he done yet? Is he done yet? Is he done yet?
Because you're not breathing?
No.
You're just holding your breath? Because even though you can breathe through the snorkel apparatus.
I can't, though.
Yeah, you can.
But I did it. I put my face in the water for the picture, and that was it. So as far as I'm concerned, I snorkeled.
No. Didn't see any fish?
No.
No. Didn't? Nothing.
No. I floated around on the noodle. I put my face in the water. But I'm telling you, if the camera guy hadn't harassed me into putting my face in the water, I wouldn't have.
Didn't see any fish. And I'm sure your
I've
family...
seen fish.
Did you see the fish? Did you see the turtles?
I can
Did you
Google
see
fish right now, and I
know.
can see them.
Yes,
There's
I know.
probably
Sure,
a live Molokini underwater camera right now that I could find online, and I
Probably.
could see everything happening there right now.
Right, which is way better than what you did. Which is way better than what you actually did by being
I
there.
got in the water.
Okay, fine.
'96 Radio from Hell.
Okay, 6:35 right now. We got Geek News coming up. We got Beat Gina at 7 o'clock. It's Shaun of the Dead trivia. You could win a Radio from Hell tote bag. Be ready to call in at 877-602-9696. Right now, Big Boy News and Opinioendo brought to you by...
Surprise your dog with one of over 20 handcrafted treats and personalized dog pizzas and cookies from Ma and Pa's Bakery. Healthy, holistic food for well-being. That's their specialty. Find them in Mill Creek, American Fork, and maandpasbakeryinc.com.
Here is some celebrity news reporting at its finest. And just the headline alone.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is. Kim Kardashian, exclusive. Wife of Kanye West looks forlorn as she heads to a business meeting in L.A. amid rumors of marital problems. She looks forlorn in this photo. So there we have a whole story for you.
Mm-hmm. You know, I kind of feel bad for the paparazzi during the pandemic because everybody's at home, not
Kim.
The only thing they have is a forlorn Kim going to a meeting.
All they
Does
have,
she have a mask on?
No mask.
Oh.
And no, but then they have the transparent Jesse Plemons and what's her name?
Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst out yesterday. Walking around looking, as pasty as possible. But
all the paparazzi pictures I've been seeing are, we think this is, so-and-so because they're wearing a mask.
Mm-hmm.
The director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases and leading figure on the Trump administration and White House coronavirus task force was named one of Time magazine's 100. The annual list is made up of the 100 most influential people. And it's about the only thing that Time magazine is known for anymore. It's doing the list, and he's on the cover. Dr. Anthony Fauci, late-night TV show host Jimmy Kimmel, praised Fauci, writing for Time that the doctor doesn't sugarcoat his words and refuses to be pressured by politicians. He delivers the truth, as difficult as it may be to hear. Earnestly and with one goal, to save lives. His courage and candor have earned our trust. Dr. Fauci on the cover of Time magazine. And Dr. Fauci also shutting down Rand Paul and his dumb mouth yesterday. You're not listening to what the CDC said. Dr. Fauci fired back at Senator Paul. Rand Paul received a sharp education on the coronavirus immunity and prevention from Dr. Fauci during a Senate hearing yesterday. Rand Paul attempted to attribute New York's dramatic reduction in COVID-19 cases to herd immunity instead of people following safety protocols. During a heated back and forth, Rand Paul, who opposes masks and who has had coronavirus himself apparently, but is still an idiot, said that New York had the highest death rate in the world. How can we possibly be jumping up and down and saying, oh, Governor Cuomo did a great job? He had the worst death rate in the world.
And then they got a handle on it, and then they turned it around by doing the right thing.
Here's what Fauci said. You misconstrued that, Senator, and you've done that repeatedly in the past. They got hit badly. They made mistakes. But right now things are going well in New York. And Rand Paul says, well, that's 22%. That's herd immunity. No, said Dr. Fauci.
Close.
It is not herd immunity. It's 22%. That's not herd immunity. And Rand
Isn't
Paul
herd
just goes,
immunity 70
whatever.
or 80%? I feel like we've talked with Dr. Cobble about that, but it's like 70 or 80%.
Yeah,
Is
and then so Rand Paul's response to all of that kind of thing is, well, whatever.
And isn't he like tangentially a medical person of some sort?
He's an eye doctor.
Or an eye doctor, yeah.
He's an eye doctor.
I mean, he's got some amount of
can't.
medical.
It's like, I'm going to have to block Todd Weiler on Twitter, too. Because yesterday he just infuriates me by doing that thing. Here, take this little quiz. What's killed more people in America? Heart disease, cancer, or COVID-19? Which one? Why are you doing that, Todd? You're trying to be clever.
Yeah.
You're trying to be clever, and you're just being an ass.
I muted him a year and a half ago, and it's been great.
Yeah. 2 Louisville cops have been shot, one suspect in custody, amid violent clashes between police and protesters sparked by a Kentucky grand jury's decision to not charge the 3 officers involved in the shooting death of Breonna Taylor. Interim Police Chief Robert Schroeder said the shooting took place at Brook Street and Broadway at about 8:30 p.m. Wednesday. Both of the officers, who were not identified, were rushed to City of Louisville Hospital. Their injuries are apparently not life-threatening. The 2 officers who were shot, they're in stable condition. President Trump took to Twitter soon after and said he's praying for the officers injured. The federal government stands behind you and is ready to help, he tweeted. I spoke to the governor, and we're prepared to work together immediately upon request. Louisville was thrown into turmoil after the grand jury decided not to charge the officers. It did hand down its decision to indict one of the officers following the killing, but it was a minor charge that the grand jury indicted this officer on. And the Attorney General, I think it was the Attorney General of Kentucky, delivered the news. He is a black man himself, and he was near tears in the way he said, "This is the decision of the grand jury. We have to stand by it, but things are bad." You know, the whole Breonna Taylor, and I think the grand jury looked at it and said, the officers went to this place with a warrant. It was a warrant for the wrong place, and I think that was a mitigating factor they felt. So they were just going to where the warrant told them to go.
Well, it was a warrant for the correct address, but the person that the warrant was for does not live there. He was an ex-boyfriend of hers from a long time ago, and they had heard that she was keeping drugs for him there.
And then somebody started shooting at them. Because of their pounding on the door.
The boyfriend. He has a concealed carry. And
started pounding on the door, and so he started shooting at them.
Yeah.
They returned fire. She was killed in the fire. There is culpability to go around here. And whether it was the officer's fault entirely, that may not be. But somebody needs to be held responsible.
Well, now there is question as to whether the cops announced themselves. And that's the big question. If they didn't announce themselves, then the guy inside shooting had every right to do that.
If they did announce themselves, then that's different.
And
but,
that story has changed or
and it has
evolved
changed, yeah.
over time. Because, and that's why, because it all kind of hinges on that.
A group of people gathered to protest the ruling in the Breonna Taylor case here in Salt Lake City, 7 o'clock last night. Washington Square Park, we're mourning the loss of Ty Bellamy, a demonstrator. We don't have to personally know her. I'm Breonna Taylor. Her son is a black man. He's Breonna Taylor. We all could be in this situation and then see how easy it is for our lives to be taken like that, and no one gets held accountable. It's disgusting,
It is.
said a protester in downtown Salt Lake. There was a march, and I think it all remained relatively peaceful. But there was a march here in Salt Lake. Now, here's the other big story of the day. Donald Trump says when the election occurs, he will not commit to a peaceful transition of power if election results show that he's lost to Biden. President Trump declined to commit to that peaceful transfer of power if he loses the November 3rd election. Well, we're going to have to see what happens, Trump said. I've been complaining very strongly about the ballots, and the ballots are a disaster.
What? Now, why at that point didn't the journalists go, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
what evidence?
What do you mean
What
the
is
ballots
the ballots
are a disaster?
are a disaster?
How is it that they're a disaster? People have started voting. They've been voting online, in the mail. I haven't received a ballot yet, but I will, and I'll vote. Senator Mitt Romney was among those who responded to the comments made by Trump. He said, fundamental to democracy is the peaceful transition of power. Without that, there is Belarus. Any suggestion that a president might not respect this constitutional guarantee is unthinkable and unacceptable. And Trump's opponent, former Vice President Joe Biden, said, according to The Guardian, what country are we in? Look, I'm being facetious, but I said, what country are we in? He says the most irrational things. I don't know what to say to his charge.
But he always tips his hand because he talks too much. And after the statement, what he said was, if you throw out the ballots, then we'll talk.
What do you mean throw out the ballot? What
that's
ballot?
his
Any
plan.
mail-in ballot. Any mail-in ballot. Throw it
That
out.
is his plan.
Yeah.
That is exactly his plan. He is going to contest every mail-in ballot, and his lawyers are already. The campaign is already lining up people also to get in with the what's it called, the election, the numbers.
Electoral college.
Electoral college. He's already starting to play with that in certain states as well.
The Federal Elections Commissioner, Eileen Weintraub of the Federal Election Commission, has a newsflash for President Trump and anyone else who needs to hear it. Quote, in the United States of America, we don't get rid of ballots.
No.
Earlier, when asked during a press briefing if he would commit to the transition power, Trump said, no, we're going to have to see what happens. We may have to get rid of the ballots. No, that doesn't happen in America. You don't just throw out ballots.
No, but you can have a situation like we had with Bush Gore, where they did throw out ballots when they went back through and they went, well, this one wasn't poked all the way through, so we're going to get rid of that one. This one I can't really tell.
And that's his plan.
They did.
877 new coronavirus cases reported on Wednesday in Utah. The rate of new diagnosis continues to rise, and yet another new record for percentage of tests that are positive suggests that an increasing number of infections are going undetected in the state of Utah. And just one little side note, I am really tired of whenever there's a story about the coronavirus, every day a coronavirus story here in Utah, the picture that accompanies it from one of our local newspapers is a picture of girls walking down the street wearing masks. Every damn story. It's a picture of girls walking down the street somewhere wearing masks.
I prefer that, though, to when they use the same picture of the person with their head tipped back and the swab going all the way in.
You don't see that one as much. You don't see that as much.
I don't want to see that anymore.
And then 2 more Utah high schools, Granger and Olympus, closing because of COVID-19 outbreaks. And Spencer Cox says, I have no choice but to agree with Governor Herbert on not having a mask mandate. I'm the lieutenant governor. I have to agree with the governor. When he says I'm not going to mandate masks, I have to agree with that.
You have to agree.
Is Spencer Cox trying to send a message here?
A little bit, I think.
Saying, if I were the governor, I would impose a mask mandate. I think that's what he's trying to say.
I don't know.
But he's, not going to come right out and do it. And I don't know. I think that's about it. I don't know if I have any more news in me. Are we about out of time here? Please tell me we are.
Sure.
Okay,
Sports weather, traffic.
Real Salt Lake came into Wednesday's matchup against LA Galaxy badly needing a win at home, and they got it. Real Salt Lake beat Galaxy 2-0 in front of about 4,000 fans at Rio Tinto Stadium. RSL came into Wednesday's game with 2 consecutive losses at Rio Tinto Stadium. It was the last of a 4-game homestand. I believe they play Minnesota on Sunday. And Bill, I don't know if you have this story for your next news. Do you have the Provo High School homecoming game story?
Yeah, I've got it here somewhere, sure, yeah. You can do it. Go ahead.
So after Governor Gary Herbert announced that Provo and Orem would be returning to orange, or moderate COVID-19 restrictions on Tuesday, Provo High School made a quick pivot. In order to allow fans to attend its homecoming football game against Wasatch High on Friday, the school announced it would play at Spanish Fork High School instead of Provo. Under the state's orange restrictions, sports are permitted, but without spectators in Provo. And they're like, well, it's homecoming. We need to be able to have people in the stands watching the game. If you live in an orange place, you are orange. If you go to Spanish Fork, if you come to Salt Lake, if you go to Vegas, if you get on a plane and go somewhere, you are orange. Your risk is higher than other people. Now, about an hour after they announced that they were going to play in Spanish Fork, there was enough of an uproar.
Yeah, was it the Nebo School District?
Yeah.
Said, hold on there.
Wait a minute.
What do you mean you're bringing your orange coronavirus down here? You ain't doing that.
So they have pivoted again. But just the fact that they think, well, we'll just go play it somewhere else and carry all of those orange people somewhere else and spread it more.
Well, but you gotta give it to the Nebo School District too for saying no, you don't.
Yeah,
no,
I'm glad they
which
did.
surprised me. Yeah, it surprised me. Being a product of the Nebo School District, it surprised the hell out of me that they said, "Hang on."
Weather quite warm today, almost 90 for a high. Then we sort of start to cool down over the weekend. We'll be down in the mid 70s, and that haze, fire, smoke still in the air. Still air quality problems here along the Wasatch Front. Traffic. Fatal crash closed all eastbound and westbound lanes on North Temple. Now this starts at State Street. That's going both directions, so avoid that area. Find an alternate route if you can through there. We've got a crash southbound US 89 just south of Crestwood Road in Layton. Crash Wall Avenue North Street in Ogden. And let me check our message stream, see if friends of the program have sent in anything. No, but if you see something, you can always text it to us, 33986, and I will pass it along.
All right. Is this a sponsored feature, Gina? Oh, but before we get to Geek News, beat Gina. You can line up now if you want to play. It's Shaun of the Dead trivia, 877-602-9696. Call in and hold on, and we'll get right to you just after 7 o'clock to play Beat Gina. Geek News brought to you by
Zero Res Carpet Cleaning, friendly on-time technicians, upfront pricing, highest rated cleaning in the industry. Now pages $33 per room, and your fourth room is free. Search online at zerorescarpetcleaning.com.
All right. Like I said, I hope that Tommy's super niece is not listening. Bad news for Supergirl fans. The CW announced Tuesday that Supergirl will conclude with its upcoming 6th season, the final season, which is slated to return to production later this month, allegedly, in Vancouver, will consist of 20 episodes and premiere in 2021. The new season of Supergirl is not part of the CW's fall schedule. It will arrive, whenever mid-season 2021 is, whatever we can call that. It's not that it's underperforming. It's actually one of their more popular shows. The reasons for its cancellation are not clear at this time. The star, Melissa Benoist, she had taken some time off for maternity leave,
Oh, well, maybe that's it.
But no, she's back now and ready to go. But they're not saying. I think it's because it probably just got expensive. When you got a hit show like that and a big cast and beloved characters, you want to keep it going. But I just think that's my opinion. I don't know. But so there you go. It's unfortunate for Supergirl fans. Also, another show canceled by Netflix, Dark Crystal: Age of Resistance.
No!
Now that has to be because it's expensive to do.
It is referred to, Netflix, the series was referred to as an expensive disappointment by an unnamed source.
That's kind of like us.
An expensive disappointment.
The Radio from Hell show, an expensive disappointment.
There you go. And only one more bad news story, and then I'll get to some good news, I promise. As with everything, it's all being pushed back. And the Marvel Cinematic Universe made their announcement yesterday, and everyone else is responding because they were kind of waiting on them. I think they were waiting to see how Tenet would do, and it didn't do. Yeah. People are just not ready to go back to the movie theater yet.
Yeah.
The Black Widow pushed back again by Disney, originally slated in May, then pushed to November, and now they're saying May 7th, 2021.
Now, I would think, Kerry Jackson, you are fine with that. Wouldn't you rather it be a big thing on a big screen when everybody feels comfortable?
Well, yeah.
I know you've been waiting for this movie, but
I would prefer that.
Yeah.
I would prefer that. But I'm also realistic, and I was really hoping that the success of Mulan on Disney Plus would have pushed Disney to go, okay, well, let's release it on Disney Plus for $30. Yeah, so there you go. But they're pushing back all of their schedule. The Eternals is going to be released November 5th, 2021. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings will now be released July 9th, 2021. So the only Marvel stuff we're getting this year will be WandaVision, and that will be sometime in December, allegedly. They haven't announced officially, but it's strange. Since 2009, we've always had Marvel Cinematic Universe stuff in a year, in a theater. It's the first time.
Well, you're really going to be excited for it when it happens. Maybe that's what they're counting on.
COVID's a hoax, though. The good news is that we are getting a lot more stuff sent directly to our homes, a lot of really cool stuff. We got a trailer for... Now, we knew about this show a couple of years ago. They announced it at Comic-Con. It's Simon Pegg and Nick Frost's ghost hunting comedy Truth Seekers is being released. We've got a little trailer for that.
I'm not scared anymore.
It says, and the caster of the incantation should take not more than one sip of tepid urine before the ritual begins.
Okay.
Truth Seekers. It's about Nick Frost, who hosts one of those internet ghost hunting shows. And that's what the show is about. So it's kind of an X-Files, modern day update. Malcolm McDowell is in it as Nick Frost's dad. So that'll be interesting.
And a bad guy? He's got to be a bad guy.
No, I think he's just a grumpy old guy. Just a grumpy old guy. I think the bad people here are the ghosts that they're after. But that will start. Oh, that'll start at the end of October, I want to see. October 30th on Amazon. And the big news that hit yesterday was that, James Gunn is doing this Suicide Squad movie. And since he's just been home in quarantine, he's been writing. And Warner Brothers is willing to let him do anything because they've seen the cut of Suicide Squad and they love it. He said, well, what would you like to do, James? He says, well, I'd like to do a TV series using just one of the characters from Suicide Squad. And again, this is D-list. But when you've got John Cena starring in it, they're more than happy to make a go of the Peacemaker is the name of the character. And he will get his own TV series. Gunn said in a statement, Peacemaker is an opportunity to delve into current world issues through the lens of this superhero/supervillain and the world's biggest douchebag. So there you go. That's what you get.
And John Cena's funny.
And John Cena can be funny. So there you go. Traffic, Gina.
So, one person is dead and another injured when two cars collided at the intersection of North Temple and State Street early this morning. I just saw some pictures from the scene, and now I understand why it is closed both directions. North Temple closed both directions at State Street. I would avoid that area if you can. Crash on northbound Main Street, SR 36 at 6 North in Tooele. The right shoulder is blocked, causing some congestion through that area. There was an earlier power outage in West Valley. They say they have restored power, but there still could be some flashing lights at intersections throughout the city. So if you come upon those, just treat them as four-way stops. That's traffic.
All right. 877-602-9696. Call in now to play Beat Gina. It's Shaun of the Dead trivia for you. And you could win a Radio from Hell tote bag. Coming up right after these. 877-602-9696. Scott Hale, Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
Committed, Scott Hale Plumbing, Heating, and Air, to keeping customers, the community, and their employees all healthy. They're taking extra precautions before and after entering customers' homes. I mean, when you call Scott Hale to come and do like a furnace tune-up, obviously the technician has to come into your house. But they make sure that everything is properly disinfected and their mask wearing and all of that. A preseason furnace and AC tune-up right now. From Scott Hale Plumbing, Heating, and Air, just $54. And if you buy a new furnace and AC unit, you get a free UV light, and it's hooked up to the system, and it helps purify the air in your house, and you get that for free. You get $100 off a $300 repair. That includes plumbing, heating, or air conditioning, and drain work as well. So call Scott Hale, 801-264-HALE.
During these bizarre times, remember that X96 is here for you, just like always. We know that a lot of things are still different in your daily routine. If you're working at home, you can listen to us on X96.com, on our new app, or tell your smart speaker to play X96. And we're still broadcasting at 96.3 FM, just like we've been doing for the past 28 years. We're part of Utah, and we're here to get through this with you. So listen to Radio from Hell in the Morning with Carrie, Bill, and Gina, followed by great alternative music and commentary with Corey O'Brien, Todd Newcomb, and Nick Davis for the rest of the day. X96, Utah's original alternative.
In these challenging times, nurses are needed more than ever. Nightingale College is a pioneer in online nursing education, blending both online classes with hands-on experience and advanced artificial intelligence simulations. Get your bachelor's degree in nursing in as few as 32 months with no waiting lists. Nurses are heroes. Become one at Nightingale College today. Visit us at nightingale.edu. Now accepting enrollments along the Wasatch Front for our upcoming fall semester.
Mark, you're a lawyer for the